takes it in overtime. Brady Tkachuk, breakaway shoots, scores!
Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Tonight, Ottawa took on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Battle of Ontario, and it's a big one as Matt Murray, the former Ottawa Senator goaltender, makes his first ever start with Toronto against his former team, the Ottawa Senators. Now, as we all know, the last couple of games Ottawa took on Toronto, Matt Murray was supposed to be starting in those games. He was the projected starter, but both of those games, he was suddenly scratched last minute with a quote-unquote injury. Now, today, he would start, and I just want to say this. If you watched my video in the summer discussing the Matt Murray trade to Toronto, I have no ill feelings towards Matt Murray whatsoever. I think he was pretty classy, all things considered, here in Ottawa during his short span here. So I have no personal vendetta against Matt Murray. I just kind of think it's funny that the last few games he's been projected to start against us. Last minute he's been scratched. But today he started, and oh boy, did he play well. But we'll talk about that in the game recap. Now for Ottawa, Matt Søgaard starts, and the rest of the lineup remains the same. Now, DJ Smith earlier today confirmed that Tom Chabot is dealing with an injury. Should Ottawa shut him down soon? I say yes. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I think we should. Ottawa tangibly is out of a playoff spot. After this game, they're like 7 points out. They do play the Penguins on Monday, so if they can win that game, maybe they can start scraping the way back. But you're running out of games, so there's like 15 or 16 games left. Especially with Tyler Clevin projected to be signed soon from UND, you know, that second-round pick out of the NCAA. It would make a lot of sense to just shut down Tom Chabot. He's been carrying this blue line on his back the last half-decade, and it's about time he gets some rest. So, really interesting to see DJ Smith publicly confirm an injury. Never really see that, so I kind of respect the honesty. But for Chabot, definitely got to shut him down soon, especially with Clevin coming soon. Now let's get to the first period of play. In 4 minutes in, Toronto is off and running. Matt Søgaard gives up a huge rebound, and he can't stop Jake McCabe's shot, and the Leafs strike. It's 1-0. A big rebound there for Søgaard. Not the best there for him. You know, you just can't give up a huge rebound like that. But Ottawa also didn't have anyone on the left side to clear that puck off the rebound. So just an unfortunate bounce, and the Leafs strike. It's 1-0. And then 8 or 9 minutes later, Eric Brandstrom off a faceoff takes a shot for the point. It deflects off Julien Gauthier, off a Leaf player, over Matt Murray, and in. Ottawa strikes. It's 1-1 on a wild goal. Matt Murray had no chance on that one. Circus-type goal. Julien Gauthier gets rewarded for a great first period, and Ottawa goes in the second period of play, tied at 1, and they deserved it. They outshot the Toronto Maple Leafs 19-9 in that first period of play. So that goal for Julien Gauthier is absolutely massive for the Ottawa Senators. As we go to the second period of play, and Ottawa would keep this momentum going. 5 minutes in, Tim Stützle, shorthanded along the right hash mark, rushes in. Jake Sanderson drives to the net, drawing a defender towards him, leaving Stützle all alone. He rips it blocker side, and Ottawa takes the lead for the first time. It's a 2-1 game for your Ottawa Senators as Timmy Superstar, is the youngest Senator in Senator history ever to score 35 goals in a season. He's going to score 40 this season, mark my words. Hell of a goal here, shorthanded for Timmy Stu, and Ottawa takes the lead. It's 2-1, but 20 seconds later, Toronto ties at 2-2. Mitch Marner alone on the right hash mark, rips it glove side, past Søgaard. We got a tie game, 2-2. And I guess you could say that's a weak one on Søgaard, but also, once again, where is the defense on Marner? I mean, I think it was Zub there on the ground trying to block that shot, but I mean, you just can't leave these type of players open. So a bit of a weak goal, but also a tough situation there for Matt Søgaard. And the goals would keep on coming for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Roughly 10 minutes later, off a one-time pass from Austin Matthews, Calle Jarnkrok rips a one-time shot past Matt Søgaard. And going to the third period of play, Toronto leads again. It's 3-2. And that one, you know, that's a really tough shot there for Søgaard. Yeah, it beats him, you know, right through the chest. But a one-time blast on the hash mark, no one in front. I mean, that's just a beautiful shot there for Jarnkrok. So, Ottawa is doing everything they can to try to win this game. The shots were very lopsided going to the third period of play, but I got to give a shout out to Matt Murray, honestly. And I might get some heat from this for Sens fans, but, you know, I try to be... I try to put my bias aside when doing these game recaps, and let's be honest, guys. Matt Murray was standing on his head, and that's why Toronto had the lead going to the third period of play. And that lead would be extended 10 minutes in as Jarnkrok again, in alone, puts a top shelf glove side past Søgaard. The Leafs strike. It's 4-2. Ottawa has to be able to defend these odd man rushes, and it's cost them multiple times today. where Ottawa just wasn't in the right spot defensively on an odd man rush. They scrambled, they couldn't recover, and the Leafs striked. And they capitalized, and they did so again here. It's 4-2. But luckily for Ottawa, here comes the comeback. The Sanders DJ plays Mr. Brightside, and you know what that means. Cue the comeback. The Ottawa Sanders and Brady Tkachuk are going to chug along and fight their way back into this one. A couple minutes after that Yarncroc goal, Timmy Stu, behind the net, dishes it out front, and Brady Tkachuk, the captain, buries it home. 4-3 game. The Sens cut the lead to 1. It's 4-3 off Tkachuk's third goal in his last 3 games. His 29th of the year, and Ottawa is in striking distance with 7 minutes to go. With about 2 minutes left in the game, Giroux with a beautiful pass to Alex DeBrincat, who roofs it. Meow Man looks to have tied it up for Ottawa at 4 apiece, but unfortunately, Sheldon Keefe and the Toronto Maple Leafs would challenge this one for offside, and it would be a successful challenge. No goal. And my heart broke after this one. I thought Ottawa was screwed. But 10 seconds left after Toronto takes the penalty. Ottawa's on the power play in the last 45 seconds. 10 seconds left. The DJ for the Ottawa Senators played Mr. Brightside, and Mr. Brightside took care of business here in the last 10 seconds of play. Brady Tkachuk, your captain, picks up the loose rebound and puts it home. Ottawa, in the last 10 seconds, ties it up. 4-4. What a moment. What a celly. We are tied. And Captain Ottawa with another huge goal. The Senator faithful on their feet. And we are going to overtime. Brady Tkachuk is going to score so many big goals in the nation's capital. That's just one of them. What a goal, what a moment. Ottawa ties it at 4. We go to the overtime period, and what an overtime period this was for the Ottawa Senators. Toronto got a couple of chances, but Ottawa hit the post multiple times. Tim Stützle had a breakaway of an unreal Chychrun backhand pass from 150 feet away, end to end. Stützle off that breakaway from that pass, unfortunately stopped by Murray. Tkachuk hit the post, and the Sens, like I just said, utterly dominated that overtime period. The total shots throughout the 60 minutes plus overtime period were 55. Yeah, get this. 55-29 in favor of Ottawa. They absolutely dominated this game. But in the shootout, unfortunately for Ottawa, they would have Alex DeBrincat scoring the first one in the first round. Derek Brassard would also score one later on, midway through the shootout, glove side. But Alex Kerfoot in the 9th round. Matt Søgaard really performed well in the shootout, but unfortunately here he slides it 5-hole as Toronto will win this one 5-4 in the shootout. It's the longest shootout as well in the NHL this season, 9 rounds. But what a hell of a game this was. And it's just a really unfortunate result for Ottawa, where they really probably deserved this win. 55 shots plus another 9 in the shootout. I mean, that's absolutely insane. And once again, you got to give a credit here to Matt Murray. You don't have to like the guy. You don't have to love the guy. But, I mean, he played a hell of a game. I mean, wow. And you all knew it was either going to be a blowout for Ottawa or Matt Murray was going to goalie the Sens. That's just how it works when a former Senator goaltender plays against the Ottawa Senators. And of course, the latter happened today as, he goalied the Ottawa Senators, which was fantastic. And, I really wish Ottawa would have challenged his glove side a little more. But once again, you have to give hats off to him. I mean, what an incredible performance. I mean, over 50 stops. That is absurd. And he looked like prime Matt Murray. And more importantly, in his first start against the Ottawa Senators, where, there's rumors or there's speculation that he ducked the last couple starts, I mean, that will definitely put the naysayers away. So I'm not trying to be Leafs talk here, but I'm also not trying to be biased. I try to be as impartial as possible, as I can be. I mean, it's a little difficult in these game recaps, but once again, Matt Murray played fantastic. And speaking of goaltending, look, after a rocky start for Matt Søgaard, he came clutch in the second half of that game. Really gave Ottawa a chance to win this one. Look, you could blame him for a couple of those goals. You can also say the defense should have been there to help him out. Regardless, the Senators would not have gotten to the shootout without some massive stops from Matt Søgaard in the second half of that game. He really stood tall. Literally, he's like 6'7", 6'8". He's huge. So, I was definitely critical of him tonight on Twitter, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm going to be critical of players if I feel they deserve it. But I'm also going to, celebrate players and, rave about them if they deserve it, which Søgaard does as well. He had a rough start and rebound in the second half. I'm going to call it how I see it, and that's how I saw it. So Matt Søgaard really gave Ottawa a shot in the second half. I had to give him a bit of a kudos there. In the shootout as well, I mean, he looked good. I mean, made some big stops, did not look out of place, and often for young goaltenders in a shootout, especially against a team like Toronto, with a lot of great shooters, they would look completely out of place. But no, he was really positionally sound. Unfortunately, though, 9 rounds, eventually somebody's going to have to win it, and unfortunately, it was Toronto. Now, I'm looking at the game notes here, and once again, Ottawa absolutely dominated. I really wish they would have went glove side much more tonight. I mean, they really challenged Matt Murray, you know, in the pads, trying to get some big rebounds, going blocker side a lot tonight. I don't know why they didn't challenge his glove. And, you know, the times they did, they capitalized. I mean, Broussard in the shootout scored glove side. So, I mean, it's very well known around the NHL that Murray's weakest spot is his glove hand. So, don't really know why Ottawa didn't challenge him more there, especially in the shootout, but c'est la vie, it is what it is. But, you know, that doesn't take anything away from Murray's great performance. I mean, he made the stops that he had to make. Now, Ottawa's top six tonight was absolutely clicking. I mean, Giroux looked fantastic. Unfortunately, that tying goal to DeBrincat didn't count. Luckily, though, Tkachuk's did. But, I mean, that was an unreal pass for Giroux. He was also in the power play 1 unit today, taking some faceoffs, which is great. Giroux's one of the best power play point getters in the last decade in the National Hockey League. It makes absolutely no sense to not have him on the first unit. Jake Sanderson, also in that first unit at times today, looked fantastic as well. He did a very good job defensively, shutting down Austin Matthews. I was very impressed with Jake Sanderson, and he's only looking better and better as the games go on. And just like Tim Stützle, Jake Sanderson is young. He's only going to get better. And this future is so bright for Ottawa. I mean, Tim Stützle, Jake Sanderson, Brady Tkachuk, Jacob Chychrun, Shane Pinto, Ridley Gregg, Matt Søgaard, the list goes on. The future is so bright. And by the way, speaking of the future, Tom Chabot and Eric Brandstrom, who, by the way, I think Brandstrom should be a big part of the future moving forward on that third pairing. He's a fantastic defender. And those two look great. They look great together. And Chabot has looked much better with him. And I think it's because Brandstrom, if you look at the underlying numbers, is one of, I think he's the third or second best defenseman on this team. And you wouldn't think that, you know, in terms of common NHL stuff for defensemen. You know, he's not the tallest guy, but he's a great defender, and the height doesn't matter for him. So I really like Brandstrom. Definitely would keep him around for the next few years. But also with Chabot, they look great together. So once again, just an unfortunate ending for this one where Ottawa really played well. It was a fun game back and forth. The Battle of Ontario is healthy and alive. I look forward to the next one against Toronto, but speaking of the next one, Ottawa's next game is on Monday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. As I mentioned earlier on in this video, if Ottawa wants any chance to even sniff the playoffs again, or even have a chance to somehow scrape their way in there, keep in mind there's only 15 games left, so let's be realistic. But if they want to get back in there, they have a couple of games in hand, and Pittsburgh is one of those teams they're chasing. They have to win this one, and they have to win it in regulation. So besides that, I will see you on Monday night as Ottawa takes on the Penguins. And yeah, tonight, just a really tough loss. A game Ottawa definitely deserved, but they got goalied. Plain and simple. Matt Murray just won the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So besides that, I will see you all in a couple days. Take care. Go Sens go.